Today on Nova Legends podcast, I have Osbourn striker Cooper Noseworthy, also signed with James Madison. Cooper was the Virginia Player of the Year, Class 6, and also recently the Washington Post All-Met Player of the Year. Cooper, congratulations. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you too.
Yeah. Well, look, I've been hearing your name for years, your goal scoring exploits. And, this year, you guys, Osbourn was the top dog for much of the year. And I know you guys were the favorite, I think, probably going into the postseason. Talk a little bit about this season. I know it ended upon it with a crushing loss, and I'm sorry to bring that up. But tell us a little bit about your team in this season.
I think after last year, the expectations were a lot higher. I mean, we were expected to go all the way this year. We went undefeated last year, and even the year before, we only lost one game. So the expectations were high. The expectation was to win everything. And, I think we definitely got unlucky, but it was a good season. The team we had was definitely the best team we've probably will have. We've been playing together since middle school. We went undefeated in middle school. So, it's been the same team for 6 years. But, yeah, our expectations were high, and we fell a little short of it. But it was still a good season.
How important is high school soccer to you? I know a lot of top players. I remember when I talked to Andres Rodriguez, they had to beg him to play. But I have noticed some more top players, especially in Prince William County, are playing. I know a guy you've been competing against for many years, Fernando, a DC United guy. And I saw that he was playing this year, and good players are turning up everywhere. So how important is it to you to play high school soccer?
It was always very important to me. Winning trophies definitely feels good, especially doing it with the guys you get to go to school with. I would say it's almost even more important to me than club almost. I basically grew up with these guys. The bonds that we've built over the years, it just getting to win with them feels that much better. So I think that's why it's that much important.
Now, I know it's important and I know it's fun, but are there things about high school that actually make you a better player? Obviously, the competition level is not always going to be as high. Generally, it's not going to be as high. But are there things about playing high school soccer that made you a better player?
I feel like the pressure that was put on me definitely helped me improve a lot. There were a lot of eyes on us this year, and especially me, I felt like. And, having to, do something in a big moment, I kind of had to get used to that as the season went on. And I felt like I got a lot better from that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know much about Osbourn's soccer tradition. Obviously, from what you just said, they've been good for the last few years, and you had a lot to do with that. I know in basketball and other sports, some of the teams, I'm an old guy, but the teams in the eastern part of Prince William County generally have been dominant in sports, Woodbridge, Potomac, Garfield. But what about soccer? Does Osbourn have a soccer tradition?
I think I'm not sure about previous years, but last year was the first time we had won a regional championship in 33 years, and first time we went to state since 2008. I know we've had a lot of good players come through Osbourn, and we've had good teams in the past, but I think these past couple of years were definitely we were the team.
Yeah. Now you were talking about how the pressure of high school soccer improved you. What about playing in Prince William County? You're a high level player. I believe you played for VDA. Is that correct, Cooper? Is that your club?
NVU.
Oh,
NVU.
Okay. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Who did you play before NVU? Who did you play before that? Were you always NVU?
We were Braddock Road, and then we branched off into NVU.
So your whole career, you've been going all the way up to Braddock Road to play club soccer?
I was at NVSC up until my 8th grade year.
Okay.
And then I switched over to Braddock Road. And then we ended up, the whole boys side of that program, we ended up leaving and we made a new club, which is now NVU.
Okay. Yeah, I played for Braddock Road back in the late 70s. So I wasn't quite as good a player as you were, Cooper, but I hung in there. Have you found the culture of soccer different in Prince William County than it is in Fairfax County and Loudoun County? Is it all about the same, or is it different? Something about Prince William County, the soccer is different. You got a lot of great players, girls and boys, in Prince William.
It's very, I mean, I live in Manassas. There's a lot of very good players in Manassas. Even going back to high school, I've gone to train there a couple times this past week, and there's people everywhere over there just training. I mean, there's a lot of very good players in this area, and I feel like it makes it that much more competitive.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of good teams too. So.
How about coaches? Who are some of the important coaches that help with your development in your career?
Definitely my high school coaches, Coach Brandon Calandra, Coach Mike D'Amelio, and Coach Cronick. Also my club coach, Coach Brian. Some of the opportunities he's given me I've gotten so much better in the past couple of years from him. Just the opportunities he's given me. I actually got to play with, we have a men's team, a semi-professional team that I got to play with last year, and I've gotten a lot better from getting that opportunity. So
Do you consider yourself an easy player to coach?
yeah, I think so. I think I'm pretty, I mean, I want to get better. So I feel like, I'm an easy to coach player.
Yeah. Does soccer always come easy to you? I mean, I've heard your name for years. If you go on YouTube, you can see videos of you when you're young. Did it come easy to you, or did you have to work really hard at it?
I mean, I've always been very serious about it. I feel like at a young age, though, I picked it up quick. I mean, after even like my first season of rec, I was scoring a lot of goals. But yeah, I've always just taken a lot more serious than I feel like anyone else did. So I feel like that's why I've kept progressing over the years.
How about playing style? What pro player, or maybe an elite player around here that you grew up watching, who had the greatest influence on the way you play in your game?
I really enjoy watching Kevin De Bruyne. I mean, just some of the things, mostly his passing and like, his IQ is just crazy. I really enjoy being able to watch him. But I feel like someone I also kind of compare to is like Paul Pogba, with my size and just kind of how I move.
Yeah.
But those are probably two players that I compare myself to the most.
You're a left-footed player, right, Cooper?
Yeah.
Do you consider yourself two-footed? Are you
I
heavy?
can use my right foot, but I'm definitely a little bit more towards my left foot.
Okay, and the players that you mentioned, they're great midfielders. Um, you know, Pogba's probably center mid, and Kevin De Bruyne's is attacking mid. I thought of you as more of a striker. Are you more of an attacking mid player yourself?
Um, I'm really anywhere in the middle. So towards the beginning of the season, we didn't really have our midfield kind of we didn't have a three in the middle that we were, sure of. So I kind of started off at CDM at the beginning of the year, and then we kind of found someone else that could fill that role so I could get a little bit more in the attack. But I've been in the middle the whole year.
Okay. And are your parents athletes? Did they play soccer?
Neither am I. My mom ran track, but that was all she did. And I think she was a gymnast or did gymnastics or something, but no soccer or any other sports like that.
How about in terms of influence on your practice time? Tough on you after a loss? Any involvement in your wins and losses in terms of inspiration or critiques?
I'm definitely very hard on myself after a loss. I feel like, especially in the high school game, after a loss, I mean that's hard. We weren't expected to lose, and I feel like just you think about what you could have done or what could have happened or what you didn't do after a loss, but I try to not think about it too much and just bounce back.
Yeah. Well, you're going to James Madison University, and I believe you signed early. I believe you signed before the season, didn't you? You signed last year or did you sign this year?
I was originally committed to George Mason.
Okay.
I was committed for I think like 8 months, and then I ended up decommitting. And then I committed. When did I commit? I think I committed in November to James Madison.
Yeah. So my daughter is going to be a first year student at James Madison. Why did you choose James Madison, and what do you like about the school?
Um, I thought the school was beautiful. The environment was nice. Really the main thing for me was the coaches though. They really gave me the impression that they cared about me, and they kind of just did a bunch of stuff that they didn't really have to do, you know, and they really just made me feel like they cared. So that was the main thing for me.
Yeah. Do they have a distinct playing style that's unique that to James Madison? I know they're a top program, but how would you describe the way they play?
Um, they possessed the ball a lot. I liked there were a couple midfielders that they had on the team last year that I thought were very good, very technical. Um, yeah, they definitely keep the ball a lot. I did notice last year they had he actually ended up getting drafted into the league, but they dribbled out the back a lot, which was something I kind of didn't expect to see. But it was cool being able to watch them. Yeah, and I'm excited to soon get to play with them.
Well, you're a great player, and always when you go to the next level, there are things you need to work on. If you look when you look at your game, what are the things you want to improve on between now and let's say August, so you can really hit the ground running.
I feel like definitely getting a little bit more comfortable, getting the ball on my right foot would be one thing, and also my like my agility and stuff like that. I mean, I'm a big guy. I feel like I move good for, a big guy, but I feel like if I got just a little bit sharper in my movement and a little bit quicker to get the ball into my right foot instead of just always getting it on my left, then I'll be a lot harder to stop.
Yeah. A lot of times when you have big players like yourself, Cooper, you're 6'3", 6'4". How tall are you?
6'4", yeah.
6'4". A lot of times they end up moving players, even if they play attacking in high school, they move them back to the center back position and at the next level because they are very valuable. And the technical ability that you had in the midfielder is even more valuable when you're trying to possess that ball in front of the goal. Have you ever thought about maybe one day you'll end up as a center back?
I have. So my club coach was a professional center back, so he kind of wanted me to play center back for a long time. I have played there a couple times. I've kind of bounced around between midfield, defender, up top, kind of whatever, however the game's going. But I have played center back, and I have thought, that could be a potential possibility of me playing there when I go to college. I mean, I would like to stay in the middle, obviously, but I feel like I could handle playing center back.
Yeah. How about the kids you're coming in with? Have you guys been corresponding? And how big is the class of first year students?
So we have 5 new guys coming in,
Hmm.
and I'm the only one that they recruited from the U.S.
Wow, that's
We
amazing.
have a guy from Germany, Spain, Italy, and Hungary. And I think a couple of them are transfer students. So I might be the actual only freshman that they recruited. Um, I haven't actually met them yet, but yeah.
Cooper, yesterday I put a list of players who made all met. I put it in one place so you can see them all. Sorry, I got your high school wrong. But were you surprised, like I was, of how few players signed Division One? Now you've been playing, for 10, 11 years at a high club level. My son played for Yorktown. He graduated last year, and I watched players around him. I was just surprised at how few players actually made it to Division One. Did it surprise you as well?
I did notice that. I noticed there were a lot more girls that were signed Division
Much,
One than boys. A
much
lot
more.
there. I think there was only me and maybe 1 or 2 other guys. And for the girls, there was, like 10, 15 or something like that. So I definitely did notice that.
Yeah. So, well, congratulations. You deserve it. You're a great player, and you've accomplished a lot, won a lot of games. And you dedicated your time to your high school, which is great. Last question for you, Cooper. And again, I appreciate your time. if you had to advise a young player, even a young Cooper Noseworthy or a young player, what are some of the things that you would advise him if he wants to do well and to succeed in soccer? I mean, you had to make a lot of decisions about club, about playing MLS next, about ECNL. What are some of the decision points that you had to come across, and what are some of the advice you'd give to young players?
In the past couple of years, I've realized, I mean, you're so much better when you're out there just enjoying playing. I feel like if you gotta understand, what you want to do and where you want to go, and I feel like, you know, you got to enjoy playing. If you're not enjoying playing, you're not going to get the best version of yourself on the field. So that's definitely the main thing I've tried to engrave in the back of my head every time I step on the field, is just go out there and enjoy it.
Well, and one thing I noticed when you talk about your mother is your parents didn't seem to be very tough on you about sports. When you look around, and I know some of your colleagues, your counterparts, they've had pretty crazy soccer dads. I know I was one. What do you think about the parents that are very intense on their kids? You seem like you enjoy it, and maybe it's because your parents kind of left you to worry about your own development.
I mean, different people are gonna take it more serious or less serious. I don't know. I feel like as a player, if you want to be good, you're gonna go and train. You're gonna go and make yourself better. I feel like as a parent, you shouldn't necessarily like push your kid. Like, I mean, I'm not saying you can't like train with them and want them to be the best player that they could be, but I feel like, because I have seen it with team. It puts a lot of pressure on kids, especially at a younger age. So I feel like it almost takes the joy out of some of them if parents are too hard on their kids. But
Yeah, I wish I could take back some of my post game talks, but it's done. So, well, look, Cooper, it's great to meet you. I look forward to following you at James Madison. I'm sure you're going to do amazing. You continue to do amazing things. So, but let's keep in touch, and thanks for always contributing to our Instagram group when you can, and we'll definitely highlight your achievements at James Madison.
yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, sure thing, Cooper. Have a great day now, buddy.
You too.